Okay, so I'm going to give you a brief overview of the solo mode of Nestlings. This is Brian, by the way. I'm going to instruct this video based on the assumption that you know how to play the game or that you've watched some of the other how-to videos or the playthrough videos that we've posted on the Kickstarter campaign or that you'll see on YouTube. So I don't want to go into all of that. So please watch those before watching the solo mode because I don't want to bog everything down with the basics when we just want to talk about the solo mode in this video. So we have this set up for a 3-player game. So in a solo mode, there will be 3 players. There will be the human player and then a basic and advanced AI. So that's what's going to happen in a solo mode. So you'll see here on the board when the distribution of resources equals player count. So the human player and the 2 AIs plus 1. So that's why you'll see 4 resources or 4 resource types in each of the 4 biomes rather than 5, which you'd see in a 4-player game. Okay, so basically what you're doing is you're trying to beat both the basic player and the advanced player, going through 4 rounds. So a lot of the rolling of the dice and grabbing resources and all that kind of stuff is very, very similar. So the different biomes. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be playing as the Rosy Finch here. Okay, as the Alpine player. Okay, and then you'll choose any of the other 3 birds. So we're going to choose the Malachite Kingfisher for the advanced player. So we'll go ahead and just put this little bird meeple here just to represent the advanced bird. And then we're going to use a cactus wren here for the basic AI. So the real difference between those two is basically the advanced AI is going to be the ones that really going to be placing, rolling and placing their dice. And then the basic AI just kind of reacts. And so I'll explain that in a second. So like every turn, all players will roll their dice. So for both the advanced and the basic AI, you won't roll those dice until it's their turn. But since I am the only human player here, I'm going to go ahead and roll my first 5 dice here. Okay, and I could re-roll these again if I wanted to because I'm the active player right now. But we're just gonna keep it like this for now. I'm gonna go ahead and place here in the Alpine, and then the next will be the AI player. So maybe we should have made the cactus wren the AI, so we are going in clockwise. But now we'll just roll one of the advanced AI's dice. Okay, let's just do something that actually means something this time. Okay, so a tree for the savannah. So what'll happen is this will be placed in the far left available spot. And then the basic AI will place a die that is across from where we just placed the, if I can choose the right thing. Come on. So it's always going to be placed across from the biome that the advanced AI player did. Okay, so that's how that works. So now we're back to me already. I can re-roll if I wish, but I'm going to head over here to the desert. Place a dice there. Going to roll one of these freshwater. Okay, which, let's see here. Okay. Cactus, they're going to go here, so that means the cactus wren will place in the Alpine because it is directly across. So as you're seeing what's happening, we're rolling the advanced AI, and so that's really dictating what the basic AI will do. And basically, the basic one is kind of just picking up a spot, blocking a spot, and making it more difficult for the human player. Okay, so I'm going to say let's go to the grasslands. Sorry, my mouse is being a little annoying. We're going to roll another one of these dice. I'm just trying to get it to where it's doing something active. Okay. Goes here, which means cactus wren's going to go over here. I'm going to start. I need to get something over here. Okay, so then the advanced player is going to roll. I meant to roll just one, so we'll go here. So we'll stack just like the regular game. And so you will see. I can never remember the numbers to rotate these dice. It's always the last one. It's always the last one I check. Okay. So now, this is what stinks for me, is you'll see here the Cactus Wren now has 2 dice. And I have 1. So they're going to choose before I will. So I could kind of re-roll this and hope I get an Alpine, or I could use my dice manipulation ability to change it to an Alpine. But I'm going to kind of double down over here and take priority from both of those players in the Savannah. Go roll my dice here. So that blue player basically just took that back from me, and the desert's going to come over here, and that's kind of a wasted die for the Cactus Wren because they already had priority, but that's how it is. Okay, so that's how the dice placement works for the solo mode. So now we're going to resolve the Alpine first because that's where the Alpine marker is. So here, the basic AI has priority, so they're going to go first. And so how that works is we got this little, I'm going to zoom in here. This is the AI biome deck. All right, so we are resolving the Alpine. So we're going to pull a card over here, and we're going to flip it. And what came up is the daisies. Okay, so the Cactus Wren is going to take the daisies. They will keep 1 just for the sake of scarcity, and the other one will go here on the solo board. And so they're going to place it here on the first spot that corresponds with the Alpine row here, the gray. Okay, all right. So now the cactus has to choose a resource to get rid of, because the first priority player always gets rid of a resource. All right, so the fly, and do we have, yep, so we got the flies, and so they're going to get rid of those flies. So if I wanted the fly, I can't get any more because it has been discarded, and that would stink. All right, so the Cactus Wren is going to take back their dice, and now it's my turn, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab this moth and feed this nestling and grab the matching segment. And that berry will stay there, okay? So now that we go over here to the Savannah, the freshwater, the advanced player, has priority. So we're going to come on over here, not to freshwater, to Savannah. I said freshwater because it's blue. So we're going to grab a card here, flip it over. Snail, there are no snails, so we're just going to flip again. And that is the worm, which is the wild. So we're going to flip again. The beetle. All right, so they're going to grab the grab the beetle and place it over here on the solo board right there. Now, I will say that as we are placing resources on the solo board, these can never be the same. So if later on, if one of the AI players selects a daisy, they will still take that daisy because they're taking away from my opportunity to have it, but it won't go towards scoring. So these all have to be unique. And there are 6 from each biome, so there's some flexibility there. Okay, so now they have to turn over another card to see which one they get rid of. They're going to get rid of the lizard, so that gets... this I was incorrect. This should go back in the biome bag. So earlier, the flies I put in here should have gone back here. So that's my fault. Okay, so then they're going to take their dice back. Next is the Cactus Wren. So they're going to snag the spiders. They're going to keep one of the spiders just for themselves, again, creating scarcity. And the other spider is now going to come over here. And it can be placed here because it is unique. All right, now they're going to take their dice back. And I get to go, and I'm going to grab the only resource left, which is this grasshopper. I'll put it below my player board and then grab the grasshopper here. And push it right there where it's in the way of... You gotta love TTS, right? Gotta love TTS. It's good for... It's like a necessary evil. It's good for playtesting and stuff, but it is so finicky. Okay, so we resolved 2 biomes. So we'll resolve 2 more, and then we'll resolve the grasslands. The grasslands get resolved in a special way for the biome players, which is easy to read in the rulebook, so I won't bore you with that. So we do this 4 times, just a regular round. Now, how does scoring work? Well, as you'll see here, we'll zoom in on the board. And along the top, you'll notice this is the little icon for the gathering goal. Obviously, you'll see it better in person. So once resources have populated these 2 columns, as you can see with this line here, okay, they are going to score, move their player token up the gathering goal board. So I'm going to slide on over, make you nice and sick. This looks different than what you see on Kickstarter because we've made some updates. When we sent out the prototypes to our reviewers, that was almost like a 2.5 month process. So some things have changed since then, but we didn't want to cause any confusion on the Kickstarter campaign. So we didn't put this new gathering goal. This is going to make it a little more competitive, but fun competitively. Previously, you would just place your marker on a specific card. Once you have saved up these types of resources, and you just gain points for them based on first, second, or third. But here, we're trying to create more of a race. And so because once the AI player completes those first 2 columns, the basic AI doesn't have a token here. So the freshwater does. So what's going to go here is we're going to put some separate bonuses on these spots. Right now, the bonus would be to just grab a resource. Well, of course, the AI player doesn't do that. But this will go here. They'll get their bonus, whatever it is. Of course, there isn't one for AI, but just in the regular game, you can. So basically, this meant that they collected a snail, a crab, a moth, and a grasshopper. They didn't, but according to their solo board, this is what it's equivalent to. For myself, if I wanted to move up to this branch, I would say in the gathering goal, I would have to turn in these 4 resources, place them in the discard bag, and then I would place my token next. And as you can see, as we move up, the spots get more and more scarce. So like you want to kind of get there before others, because if not, you have to kind of wait for someone to move up before you can cash in on a gathering goal, even if you have the resources. And as you'll notice, the points get higher and higher. So 3 points, 7, 12, 20. These will probably change a little bit because we want to make sure that going for these is another priority of yours. So that's a gathering goal. Zooming back over here to the player board. Once all 5 of these get filled, doesn't matter which row, okay? As soon as that gets filled up with resources, just so that you can visually see this, I'm going to go ahead and fill it up. Let's see here. I should have filled this up earlier. I apologize. Oh, look at that. All those spiders. I don't like spiders. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of show you what this looks like. So obviously these would be unique. None of these could be the same. But once you have filled up an entire row, you will then, the AI player will then score 20 points. Okay. Now, then you have to discard these resources back down to the last completed row. So here, there is no completed row. So all 5 of these would get discarded into the discard bag. However, let's say it looks something like this. And let me get this cactus. Let's say it looks something like this. Well, then only these 4 would get discarded. And this one, of course. And the AI player would then just start there. So the more gathering goals they can complete, the further up they will start on a row when they've completed a roll. They won't have to go back. So if we had resources all the way up to, let's say it looks something like this, okay? And I'll grab a I'll just grab my moth here for the sake of the example. That look like this, and we completed this row, or any row actually, I would only discard, or the AI player would only discard 3. So you only discard all the way down until your last completed row. And so this just means that the more points they get, the opportunity that they're going to perhaps get more increases. And so you have to start grabbing your resources sometimes to make sure they aren't scoring points. Not necessarily just so you can score points. So there's a lot of things going on here. And that's kind of how the solo board works for the AI. It's a very unique mechanism that we think it works very, very well. What's really cool is if you have a 2-player game, 2 humans, you can still use both of both advanced and basic AI. The only difference would be if you're playing with 2 human players, the basic AI would not score resources over here. They would just basically be clogging up a spot because you have another person that you're going against. So there's a lot of flexibility with the AI type of variant in this game. That's kind of how dice placement works. It gets you a little unique with the grasslands, which it's not difficult to understand, but I just kind of wanted to give you somewhat of a feel for this. This mod is available for public use if you would like to jump in here and give it a go. Please use the rulebook that we have listed on the Kickstarter campaign, because the one that's here in the mod we haven't updated yet because we've been, answering and interacting with all you awesome people. So that's the solo version of Nestlings. And of course, the human player, they're going to score their points like normal. They'll score them for segments and feeding your nestlings and gathering goals, because the AI player will also score points for wherever they end up on the gathering goals. So if they end up here, they would get 12 points, and so would the human player. Lots of different ways to get points, and so the human player is scoring like normal. So it's going to mimic an actual game if you were playing other human players fairly well. That's Nestlings Solo.